So once upon a time, I always wanted to be a rapper, never in my mind, never at all. In my kind of like conscious mind, maybe some kind of like maybe subconscious mind. I was always wanted to be a rapper in my head. I never thought I could be making the best out of myself because I could be making the best for everybody else. Because my deeds are not at all any kind of a record deals, any kind of a level is not at all being kind of a come up to my kind of a same platform because I'm not at all going to let on everybody else to say that it could be like any bad or trying to make me do whatever I could be having to be like feeling like I could be making myself being kind of a like if any kind of like chance or be driven by some kind of a manipulation, a manifestation of not myself and maybe somebody else to be getting myself, never be kind of a getting myself, being kind of a whole myself, maybe might not by me or maybe everybody else as a part of the not at all myself. For me, I could be getting myself being kind of overly outdated by everybody else, but still not at all willing to make sure that I could be making any mistake. But my mistake is not at all being kind of valuable for myself because I'm not at all outdriven, not at all outcast by myself for everybody else. But I could be having getting myself being I felt like I could be outcasting on everybody else. My kind of speculation, my kind of adulation, my kind of like hail, or maybe my kind of like extol for myself and not at all getting myself like I could be losing the bet. I could be keeping everybody else on their toes, tippy toes to make the sort of like they could be like dancing on the taps of the beat. They could be missing the kind of like stroke, but we may have it to be getting themselves to write on any film or maybe any like uniform stroke because they could be getting themselves being kind of driven across my kind of like message because I'm not at all being kind of like any bad by myself because I could be letting on everybody else to say they could be like getting themselves being kind of speculated by myself because at the same kind of a time I'm letting on everybody else to get myself so as to themselves being kind of held by my situation, not at all myself kind of like struggle for myself has it been so that I could be letting on everybody else to willing to make sure that they could be giving me any kind of a rhyme so as to make sure that I could be like chewing the chewing gum and at the same time I could be making any kind of like commitment or making any kind of like utterance of any word or maybe any particular sentences need to be having like speaking by myself. I will make sure that I could be making a speak on it or making any kind of like commenting or maybe kind of like spoken by myself or kind of spoken or making sure that I could be like spoken it in some kind of a ways need to be having to be getting myself being kind of a done so as to make sure that I could be uttering on it not at all blather and blunder myself because I'm not at all doing any kind of bubble at the same time. I could be getting everybody else and not at all I'm talking any kind of like foul manner, not at all trying to get in myself. I could be outlandish or bandish in my kind of like stake for myself or not even especially for everybody else because I could be getting everybody else to say that they could be not at all willing to say what is needed to be having to the state or maybe what is needed to be having to be like speaking by myself because I'm not at all trying to get in myself being kind of overly outdated by myself because I'm not at all outcasting for myself, never try to getting everybody else being kind of like out or being kind of covered or maybe they could be getting themselves being kind of overtly done for this kind of like condolence because my kind of endeavor for myself is not at all kind of rendezvous for anybody else because I'm not at all willing to getting everybody else to say that they could be talking some kind of a shit for myself. I could be like making the shit summary shit on themselves because I could be having getting on everybody else. I could be like carrying on themselves by their nerves. I could be on a like nerve on everybody else. I could be like breaking down everybody else's kind of like CNS, not at all trying to getting myself like over the counter for any kind of like antihistamine or any kind of like what do you call this kind of like dopamine for themselves because I could be getting on everybody else to say they wouldn't feel any kind of like need to bash me down or not, but they could be not be able to bash me down even despite of whatever kind of aspect their kind of vital or their kind of like spiritual or whatever kind of like basic instinct or instinctive need they will never be able to bring me down. I could be bringing them down every now and then or then and now or making sure that they could be having being already brought down by myself because I'm not at all trying to celebrate for my kind of like willingness because I could be having getting myself I could be pre-post mind or maybe kind of like meantime being kind of a one because I'm not kind of moaning on everybody else because I'm not at all having to be getting myself I could be like letting everybody else to moan because at the same time I could be having to be getting everybody else to make sure that they could be never to be getting themselves being kind of like some kind of speculative action for themselves kind of a want. I'm not at all willing to say that I could be saying some kind of a thing that has to be said by myself because I'm trying to getting myself being kind of a speak or some kind of effect or some kind of like seeking myself kind of I want to make sure that I could be like seeking when nobody's kind of help. People could be like asking for help for me. I could be not at all letting everybody else to say they will be never be able to say that I could be asking for help from me because I'm not at all trying to help on everybody else because if I would be helping on everybody else they could be trying to help me back for my kind of helping for on themselves not by myself for them to them but by far for myself to themselves to thee. never be the case, because I could be helping on myself, never gonna be the case. That's why I'm not at all helping on myself, and not I could be rather helping on the, and it's kind of help is not at all being kind of any kind of help as being kind of like being applicable to them, because it's gonna be the case that God helps them, because we have it to be helping on themselves, that we can't be having to be helping on themselves. That's why I can't be helping on everybody else. Why the God? That's why I will be able to be coming up with any kind of help from themselves. The only kind of help is to be giving themselves, being kind of not being able to survive my kind of like test of time. I can be giving them out of this kind of situation. I could be like eradicating themselves off their kind of like ground, because I could be like getting themselves being swept off from their feet, and they will be having not being able to say or maybe done what is they could be feeling like right in their kind of like basic needs, and I could be killing on everybody else without having to be like getting myself being kind of feeling remorse or any kind of like compunction in my mind, because I could be not at all trying getting myself being kind of like done the or any kind of like getting myself being kind of like thinking for themselves, because I'm looking for daggering my stab or maybe daggering my knives as a stab in their kind of head, mind, brain, or wherever the case could be in their kind of a chest, so as to get myself whatever I could be feeling I could be having, getting myself being kind of done for my situation, because I'm not at all trying getting myself like over the kind of like outcast for my effect for myself, that my Fiji is better than everybody else in kind of like immediate more than before prior or post or immediate meantime effect.